Welcome back, Pre-Algebra. We're in Lesson 109 today. We're going to talk about simple interest and compound interest. So when you put money in a bank, the bank uses your money to make money. How do they do that? So when I deposit, let's say I deposit $1,000 in a savings account, and someone takes a loan out. Let's say they take a loan out for $500. Just as an example. So they take that $500 that I have in my savings account that I'm not really using, it's just sitting there, and they loan it out to this person with a promise or a contract to repayment that back plus interest. So what happens is the bank might charge, I don't know, the person who is making the loan, they might charge them, you're going to pay me back $500 plus, let's say 10% interest to make it interesting, right? So that means that they're going to have to pay back 10% of the 500. So we know that'd be $50. So they would end up paying back $550. Well, the bank has to make money too in order to pay their employees. So they're not going to give me back the 10% in full. Instead, they're going to pay me as the originator of having all the money in the savings account. They're going to probably pay me back 2%. So my savings account grows every year by 2%. So 2% of $1,000 is $20. So I'll get $20 this year because I'm getting back 2% of what they're bringing in. So that is how banks make money, by charging this percent to the people that borrow money from them. But then they also keep their customers and reward their customers for putting money in the bank by paying them interest on the money they put in, so that their money, when you put it in a savings account, your money will grow a little bit every year if you just leave it there. And if you keep putting money in the savings account, then the money grows more and more and more. So you actually can make money. You can make your money grow by saving it in a savings account or a money market account, which is another type of savings account. It has a little bit higher interest payment for you. So let's learn how to solve those types of problems right quick. So the money that they pay you is called interest. We talked about that. And the interest is a fixed percent that is paid back on the money that you put in the bank. You're actually investing in the bank by having a savings account. So in example 109.1, let me write that out for us. So the problem states Jim put $5,000 in the bank for 2 years at 8% simple interest. How much did he have after 2 years? The words simple interest tell us that Jim will get 8% of $5,000 every year. So we use the percent equation. A percent of a number is another number. So we're going to say 8% of $5,000 equals, that's 500, that should be 5,000, equals the amount of he had in the bank. So we are going to turn that into a decimal. So that would be 0.08, and we know of is multiplication. So 0.08 times 5,000 is going to equal what he has in the bank. That is going to be $400 is what the bank gives him every year. Right? So for 2 years, he gets $400 because he has $400 for the first year and $400 for the second year. So he deposited $5,000. That was his deposit. And then the first year, he got $400. That was the first year. And the second year, he got $400. That was second year. So he got a total of $5,800 after 2 years. And that would be your answer. This is simple interest. That means that is only interest paid on the original amount deposited. You do not receive interest on the interest. Okay? So there is a type of interest that pays interest on the money that you earn by putting the money in the account. And that's called compound interest. And that is the type of savings account that you want. You want to earn interest on that first $400 because that makes sense, right? It's in the savings account. Why shouldn't you get interest on it? You didn't spend it, so it should be earning you money. So that's the next type of problem we're going to do after we finish one more of these. So let me write that up here. All right, so Maria deposited $800 at 8% simple interest. How much will she have after 3 years? So we say 8% of $800 is going to equal the amount she gets in interest, right? So we turn this into a decimal, 0.08 times 800 is going to equal $64. That's the interest she has paid each year. So her original amount is $800. The first year, she's going to make $64. The second year, she's going to make $64. And the third year, she's going to make $64. So that's going to be 12 plus 19 plus 1 is 9. So she is going to have $992 after 3 years of just leaving that original $800 in the bank. So she made $192 in simple interest by not doing anything except just putting her money in the bank and leaving it there. That's not too shabby. $192, that's a nice shopping spree, you know? So now let's look at what I was talking about earlier, compound interest. And that is where your interest earns interest. So let's talk about that next. So in the previous example, Maria had earned $64 in simple interest at the end of the first year. And so she had a total of $864. If the bank paid her compound interest, that's compound, that should be an N right there. So sometimes Miss Tracy's pen skips. There we go. Compound interest. If the bank had paid her compound interest the second year, they would pay her 8% interest on the total amount of the $864 that she had earned after the first year. So in the second year, her interest would have been $864 times 0.08, and that would have equaled $69.12. That would have been added to the $864. So she would have had, that'd be 3, carry 1. That would be, is that right? 3, carry 1, $933 instead of the $900. She had $864 the first year and $64 the second year. That was $829. So she would have earned $5.12 more than what they paid her the second year. And then if she had received compound interest on the third year, that would have been times 0.08, and that would have been $74.65. And when you added that to the third year's total, or the second year's total, that would have ended up being $1,007.77. Sorry, that's not a comma. Should be a decimal. $1,007.77. Compare that to the simple interest of another $64, and that was $992. So you can see the difference between simple interest And compound interest, you want to receive compound interest on your savings account, not simple interest. Okay? You want to earn an interest on everything that is in the account whenever they calculate interest, not just the original deposit amount. It is a better bank account to have the compound interest. So let's learn how to calculate compound interest. So I'm going to put up 109.3 and we're going to learn how to do that. So how much will $700 be worth in 2 years at 9% interest compounded annually? So when you see this compounded, then what that tells you is that it's including the interest that's already earned in the previous time period. And annually tells you the time period that that interest is paid in. So 1 year after the $700 is deposited, it's going to be multiplied by that 9% in decimal format, which is 0.09, and the answer or the total for that is going to be $63. So this amount of interest is the first year of interest. So you add the $63 to the $700 and you get $763 at the end of the first year. Now we take that amount at the end of the first year, and at the end of the second year, we do the same interest calculation, only we use the new amount, not the original amount. And we multiply that times 0.09, and that interest is $68.67 at the end of the second year. And so we add that amount to the first year amount, 68.67 at the end of the second year. That's how much interest we're paid. And we find out that we're going to earn, or we're going to have $831 in our account at the end of the second year. All right, so we made, if we take $831.67 and we subtract the original amount that we had in the account, we earned $131.67 just by putting our money in an account with compound interest and leaving it there. We didn't actually do any physical labor. We didn't have to make a product and sell it. We didn't have to babysit anybody's snotty kids. We just put our money in the bank and left it alone. And we earned some interest. The bank paid us for putting our money there. So do not put your money in mason jars and bury it in the backyard. Put it in an interest-bearing savings account, and you will grow your money. And that is all we have for lesson 109. I will see you in lesson 110.